everyone, this is Terry from terryscraftroom.com. Today we're going to make this really cute card with the Stampin' Up! Zany Zebras set. When I first saw this, I loved these zebras. And I don't know if you remember, but you remember fruit stripe gum? This is what I thought about it. So I made a fruit stripe gum card. Isn't that just adorable? Let's get started. So for today's card, the supplies we'll need are an 8.5 by 5.5 inch piece of cardstock for the base, scored at 4 1/4. I've already folded that. And then we'll need 3 pieces of Whisper White. 2 of them are 5 1/4 by 4, and one of them is 5 by 3 3/4. And then we'll need Poppy Parade, and this one I cut out with our layering squares dies, and I used one of the scallop squares, and we're going to use another one of the scallop squares to cut out our zebra in the middle. So we need a scrap of Whisper White, we need a scrap of Poppy Parade, the card base is the Granny Apple Green, and then we need some, these are just 1/2 inch strips. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to take the smaller piece of Whisper White, and that's the one we're going to build our stripes, our background stripes on here. So let's take our adhesive, and I'm just going to cover this with adhesive, and I'm going to cover it really well because I'm going to be putting these stripes on. I want to get down the edges here and get down all these edges really well. Okay. So now, once you see how well I covered that with adhesive? Yeah. So now, once I've got everything covered, I can start just putting my stripes on. I'm just butting the stripes up right next to each other and trying not to overlap them. So you probably saw that I used the our new Stampin' Seal. It's a really cool new adhesive that Stampin' Up! Just came out with in our new catalog, and the new annual catalog. So most of my pieces are 1/2 inch. A couple of them came up smaller. If you want to vary your piece sizes, you can. So let's try this one with varied piece sizes, because I have a couple that are smaller. One thing you need to remember is, oops, see how easy that came up since I hadn't pushed it down? Is since you're doing diagonals, your stripes need to be longer than the 4 inches. They need to be to be able to span your card. And you notice we're just hanging them off the card, and once we get them all on, we will cut them, and it'll be real easy to cut afterwards. And that one may not, that one's not long enough. And that one's not long enough. Okay, so we're going to have to do another until we can get a smaller yellow one here. There we go. And you can see it doesn't have to be a pattern. I mean, you can go do a 1, 2, 3 pattern, or you can just put them on. But the colors of the fruit stripe gum are red, green, and yellow. And I used the Poppy Parade, Granny Apple Green, and Daffodil Delight. Okay, so my white piece is covered. And you can see by the back here. And all I'm going to do is take my scissors and just cut along this piece to cut all those pieces off. Just like so. And since you've got the white piece, and it doesn't have to be a white piece, a whisper white piece, it can be any color because you're not going to see that color. So whatever color you happen to have around, but since you've got this white piece as a guide, it really is easy to cut and have it turn out just fine. Okay, so I'm going to save some of these longer pieces here for another card later. We'll get rid of these. Okay, so here we are. Now one of these other white pieces is going to be our backing for this, just like this. So we can put that together. Just like that. There we go. Now we need our zebras. So let's, and if you recall, we had a zebra on the inside down here and a zebra on the outside. So I've got my scrap piece for the zebra on the outside, and here's my inside piece. Okay, there's my zebra for the outside, and here's what I'm going to cut him out with. And here's the zebra for the inside. And I'm just using the Memento Black to stamp the zebras. Now while I'm stamping, we need our sentiment, so I'm going to stamp that on a piece of scrap Whisper White. And look, I stamped it upside down, but since it's on a piece of scrap, it really doesn't matter that it's upside down. Okay, so while we have the sentiment here, let's go ahead and put this together. And I'm using the classic label punch here to punch it out. Then I'm going to use a piece of scrap. Oh, we'll use yellow this time again. Punch out a so that's the Daffodil Delight again. And with this one, I am just going to put a little bit of adhesive on the back here. And you notice I cut my punch out in half. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and just put them on the ends of my sentiment here, just to give it a little something extra here. And so the sentiment looks like that, and it just doesn't meet in the back. Okay? Now let's go. I'm going to go to the Big Shot and cut this guy out. Now a quick tip when you send things through your die cut machine, especially things that are square or have a long straight edge against it. When you send it through, don't send it through. So here's your plate, and you're sending it through your die cut machine. Don't send it through square. Always put it at an angle. It'll go through better and it'll cut better. So just a quick tip for that. Okay, so let's layer our zebra up. Oh, I forgot to color him. You're right. So we can color him. So I have a granny apple green, light granny apple green, and a dark poppy parade. And all I'm going to do is just color some of his stripes. And I'm going to do like every other stripe. This is a quick and easy coloring project. It doesn't take much. And there's no shading on it. You're just coloring up some of his stripes. And I missed a stripe right there. Let's do his ear. There we go. And then, oh, we need to color this guy too. I think these zebras are just so adorable. Let's color his tail here. There we go. I think I got it all. Okay, and then the last thing we want to do is we want to put a couple of stripes on the inside, just right up here on the inside of the car, on the inside of the there we go. So that's all I want to do there. So what I want to do, so I know where to put my adhesive, is I'm going to do that. So I made a couple of marks. Can you see that? On my paper, and those will be covered up. If they're not, I can erase them. And I'm going to cover this area here with adhesive too. And then I'm going to take my pieces again, and we're going to, and see, if you've got these small pieces, you can reuse them. I mean, you can use the the cutoffs that you used before, that you cut off before. And there we go. And once again, we're just, and you could, if you happen to cut into your white paper, you can feel it and you back your scissors off. And that's how it gives you a straight line, a straight cut. So there we have our inside. So let's put that down. Okay, and then we're going to put our front on. Okay, and then I'm going to pop this up. And it's a pretty simple card. There's not a lot of layers other than your stripes. Okay, line that up. And if you haven't seen this method of taking the tops off of your dimensionals, the top papers, all I've got is a piercing tool. You can do it with your take your pick tool with the piercing end, and you just poke in and pick it up. And it comes right off on your paper piercing tool. See that? It's a pretty quick, easy way to take your dimensional papers off. And there we have our card. Our fruit stripe gum card with the Zany Zebras stamp set. I hope you have as much fun playing with this stamp set as I have had. This is just a wonderful, whimsical stamp set, and if you're interested in purchasing this stamp set and you don't have a demonstrator, check out terryscraftroom.com, and I have a link to shopping over there, and I'd love to have you shop with me. Also, if you enjoyed this project, please hit the subscribe button and help me build my channel. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Bye!